Good evening, runners, and welcome back to another video from me, That Running Girl. It has been 5 months since I've made a video, and there seems to be longer drags in time between me making videos. I will get into like a whole big life story at some point on this channel, but I just wanted to jump on here and just talk about a few things, basically to let everyone know that I'm still alive and I'm still here and I'm still running, and I have a lot of ideas for videos that I would like to make on this channel, and I very much want to keep this channel going even though I'm so busy with work and I just never have time to jump on here and make videos anymore. And it does seem quite a strange space at the moment because obviously we still can't race, and I'm still active on Instagram. You can still follow me at That Running Girl. I upload about my training and racing and things I eat, and lots of pictures of clouds as usual. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and talk about a few running related things and talk about my running journey. I actually made a video that was about 17 minutes long, and I made it on Photo Booth, which is what I used to make all my old videos in. If you followed me since the start of my That Running Girl channel, you will know that the quality of my videos was so poor. And I used to make the videos on Photo Booth and then I used to upload them, and it was just dreadful. So I kind of forgot that I need to make it in iMovie. So now I'm making it in iMovie, and I'm going to try and keep it under 10 minutes. So hopefully it will upload, because if I don't keep it under 10 minutes, YouTube tells me that I don't have the correct authorization to actually upload the video. So let's jump into the concise content. Now, I have not done a road race for almost a year now. My last road race was the Banbury 15 mile, which was in March 2020. And it seems like madness that I haven't done a race in that long. But I mean, that's just the space that we're in at the moment, obviously with COVID-19, and things are still sort of getting postponed, or they're getting cancelled, or it almost seems like we're throwing our money away, just, hoping on events going forward, and then the goalposts are changed and we train for an event and we can't run the event, and it's all very demoralising. And I just wanted to talk a bit more about the concept that I've been thinking about of the mindset of being a neutral versus a neurotic runner. Now, this is something that I've actually thought about for quite a long time. And do you like my wallpaper, by the way? I got it done about 3 weeks ago, and I really like feels like I'm sort of floating in a very deep mystical lake with sort of medieval flowers, and this wallpaper just brings me so much joy. But anyway, back to the content. Neutral versus neurotic running. Now, I have been a runner for 16 years now, which I think I've mentioned a few times on this channel. And basically, I really feel like at least the first maybe 5 or 10 years of my running, I was a very neurotic runner. So I would go out and I would have to do the pace that I set out to do, and I would have to do the distance that I set out to do, and I would have to do everything so precise and by the book. And when I think back to it, no one even created the book. I created these rules for myself. Like, I created this book. And I felt like I had all these rules and I had to do everything precisely. And if there wasn't a race on, or if something was cancelled, or once my partner and I drove to a race location and I got the postcode wrong and we ended up like 50 miles away from the race, and I was crying on the way back home. It was just, looking back on it, I was the most neurotic runner that you could actually be. And I mean, that's just not sustainable. So as I grew up and things changed in my life, jobs changed, relationships changed, Nike Lunar Racer was discontinued, Nike GPS was discontinued, and you have to adapt, right? You have to adapt and remember the core principle is running. The core thing that never changes, even though gear changes and relationships change and locations change and everything changes, running itself doesn't change. Now, I think that's a very reassuring and static thing. It's the constant, right? It's what I'm always talking about, running being the constant thing. And I just feel this shift, it's almost like a gear shift in perspective, shifting from a place of neurosis to a neutral place. And by that, I don't mean that you've lost your competitive edge. I don't mean that you don't have, a hunger and a passion for running anymore, and that when a race is back on, you're going to really hit the ground running, and thrash it out. And but I just feel like being in a more neutral place, as opposed to a neurotic running place, is so much healthier for your mind and so much more balanced. And when you have that sense of equilibrium in your life, it's almost like everything else feels aligned as well, because you're not stressing yourself. It almost feels as if when I go out training at the moment, I tell myself, actually, if you don't want to do 10 miles today, don't do 10 miles today. But then I get into the run, and because I haven't put that pressure on myself, I do end up doing 10 miles. Do you see what I mean? It's almost like removing the insane pressure and the build-up that you put on yourself, which is such a strange thing because no one else is forcing it on you. You're only forcing it on yourself. When you remove that, I feel like it just frees you in your running and creates so much more joy in your running, which is what running should be about. I feel like it's almost like running should be aligned with your inner authenticity. So for me personally, when I go out running, as people that know me know, I love taking pictures of trees and clouds, and I like to really immerse myself in the seasons and my surroundings, and I just feel so much inspiration from that, both as a runner and as a creative person, taking in lots of different stimuli and just feeling very awake to it all. It really awakens my body and my mind, and I feel like that's almost like a spiritual journey with running. And I've talked about this in one of my previous videos called Running the Spiritual Path, if you want to look that up. But I just feel there's so much joy from that, sort of aligning your personality and your character traits with the actual art and beauty of running itself. So the second thing I wanted to touch upon was races versus solo resilience. So when I said at the start of this video there aren't any races on still, I mean there are some races that are kind of hinted at, like will it go ahead, won't it go ahead? And everyone's wondering whether the London Marathon in October will go ahead. Personally, I'm hoping for the Otmore Challenge to go ahead in, I think it's the first weekend of June, the first Saturday of June, which is an off-road half marathon that I absolutely love to run in the summer. And there's only a few hundred runners run it. So hopefully, I really, really hope that's able to go ahead. But when there aren't races on the calendar, you have to have that solo resilience. You have to have your reason why. Because a lot of people, their reason why for running was, well, I'm training for a race. I'm going out and I'm doing 13 miles today on my own because I'm training to run a half marathon. And when I run the half marathon, I'll be on the start line and the whole race will be a journey and there'll be spectators, and then at the finish line I'll get a finishing medal and I might get a podium place if I'm a competitive runner. And you had all these motivating factors and all of these incentives to actually go out and train for that race. But because there's not that incentive at the moment, because it's been taken away, the race environment and all the rewards and incentives been taken away, you have to really dig deep to find that solo resilience. But that is your reason why. That's why you're a runner. That's why you run through all the seasons. That's why you're watching this channel right now. And I just wanted to jump on here and remind everyone that is what we're all about. Anyway, I hope you found that video helpful. Remember to follow me on Instagram. I am the original and best That Running Girl. And in my next video, I'm going to be doing some gear reviews on Gymshark tights, which I have got on at the moment and I'm super impressed with. And I hope you're all running well, and I will see you in my next video.